Hey guys, how's it going? Bob and Dave here, monthly newsletter. Dave, we had a lot of exciting stuff on the plate, but I just want to start out by really thanking all of those people that support us, our strategic partners, from so many different facets of the law that are referring cases to the Bianchi Law Group. We're increased our lawyer staff, our entire staff. We're very proud of what we've done. We're looking for some more lawyers, scaling the business in a nice way. But moreover, I think the quality results we're getting is great. And again, generally appreciate the fact that you guys would have the confidence for us to represent those clients that you refer to us, and you know that we take it to heart about how important that is to deliver excellent representation. So thanks so much for that support. Absolutely.
Criminal defense, domestic violence, municipal court. These are the cases that we handle, but because we're certified criminal, two certified criminal trial attorneys were 2 of 250 in the state of New Jersey. We're able to send back referral fees for criminal law matters because of the certification. And that's essentially what that policy is for the certification.
Yeah, listen, I've always felt that program has never really worked the way it should. I mean, the Supreme Court put it into place, obviously, so that the consumer would understand that these are people considered experts in the field of criminal law. It's not easy to get that certification. I just don't think it ever really translated to the public the way we had hoped it would. But I can say, and I don't mean to be mean-spirited when I say this, but either from my vantage point as the former county prosecutor, or what we see out here in the criminal defense practice, there are many fine, excellent attorneys, and even ones who aren't certified, who are really good criminal trial practitioners. But there's a lot of lawyers out there that don't necessarily have the experience level that a certified criminal trial lawyer would have, where you could be assured they've been vetted by the Supreme Court to say this is the best of the best. And that reflects itself in a couple of things we've seen recently where, some people, in my opinion, regrettably, and again, I mean, no disrespect, but, when I first started out, I would not handle a murder case or an armed robbery or a first-degree aggravated sexual assault case because I didn't have that level of trial experience yet. And we've seen some kind of regrettable things lately with people that took on cases that thankfully realize that they need to pass it on to a more experienced attorney. So, we're really proud of that certification. And the fact that we're able to assist and thank people by way of a referral fee was all put into place by the Supreme Court with the idea of getting lawyers to drive business to certified criminal trial lawyers. And I think it was genius. I just wish it were a little bit better known, right? I mean, we listen to people talk all the time about are you and I don't want to mention a company.
Duper lawyer.
Are you this, are you that? And even though we are all those things, because by let's be honest, you knew I was against that when we first started out. I'm a certified criminal trial lawyer. I'm not going to be joining these things simply to get a badge and something to put on your website. But, and unfortunately, their advertising, their marketing, these other companies, is far more advanced than the Supreme Court certification. So we had to jump into that game. But I often tell people, look, if you can't afford our services, please look for the certification as the preeminent thing, because they don't realize that.
Absolutely. It seems too like every single day I see another award, another group, something else that's trying to sell me a plaque.
Yeah.
Right? Like pay the fee and you get a plaque or a badge to put on your website. And really when it comes down to it, in the state of New Jersey, that certification is through the New Jersey Supreme Court Certification Committee. And there's criteria and standards for recertification. In fact, I'm up for recertification. I have to file this package with all of my cases, the adversaries that I've gone against, the judges in the cases, the trials that I've had. And that's what happens every 5 years for this certification. And that's important. It's painful to do, but at the same time, it is so important. I've been certified since 2013. Bob, you've been certified since 1996. One of our associates, Jorge Morales, recently sat for the test as well. We hope that he'll be the third at the firm, but certainly we appreciate these referrals. This is what that certification rule is for, to send back referral fees. And absolutely, we're grateful for all of you that do send us cases and call us and consult with us for any ongoing issues. Okay. Next up, the radio show. We just got done filming another radio show. Bob, I am so happy about this too, because we're booked. I mean, literally 2 days for the next 4 weeks. And we're starting to get some big names authors, mindset coaches. We just had on Jillian Michaels. We just had JJ from Ace of Spades agency, a marketing company, and Melitsa Waage, who really blew it out of the water, all three of them. And we continue to line up these guests coming up. And I know, Bob, it's such a great platform. We're essentially building a stage for individuals to come on and speak their mindset and their experiences.
It's very powerful to me. As you know, since you've known me, I've always been big in mindset and faith and spirituality. You know, not everybody has to be in that space, but, you know, improvement. What can I do to improve myself? Remember what I used to say to the assistant prosecutors? Don't look at a case just like the nuts and bolts. There's so much human emotion, drama, so many things you can learn from the case itself as a human being, as a person. So, you know, when we got out and we trained with Dr. Brene Brown, and these are all these kind of things that you want to do to improve yourself, and hopefully that'll translate into your ability to be able to help other people. And this radio show has provided that platform because it's a mindset show. And we have people coming from Chris Hansen, like you said, and he's got his perspective, and Jillian Michaels, she was amazing, has her perspective, and Shannon Bream has her perspective. But what I really love about it is the community is building up, and more people now want to be on the radio show and the podcast. And I think I love doing it. We just did one today, and like the stuff that I'm taking away with it and the notes that I'm writing down, I just really hope that it's helpful to other people. But it's, we've gone from kind of like, hey, are you interested, to people like now reaching out to us, hey, we want to be on your show and podcast. I think that's amazing. Absolutely.
We've been at it for a year, Bob. Mm-hmm. And in fact, we just signed a 1-year extension with the radio company because of the success the time slot is having on Saturday.
Yeah.
The show's given us positive feedback about the show itself. They haven't seen the listeners, the audience in this spot for some time. So it's great that we have this show, but also repurpose it in various different ways with the podcast and taking video and putting it out on nothingbuttetruthpodcast.com has been an excellent opportunity for a lot of our guests to be pushing it out and getting it out to their community as well.
I mean, I think that is really important. Everything's like giving value, right? And win-wins for one another. I've always said that. I mean, what's good for you? What's good for me? What can we do to work together synergistically? And so we're a big believer, and I think it's kind of offsets us in a different way. And we're about to start a business project that's going to, you know, I'm not sure if you want to talk about it or not, but the point is that when they're done, we're giving them the cut. We're giving them the video. We're giving them another opportunity to show that they're on another platform and to share their wisdom with their communities, which I think is huge. I wish with all the stuff we did in the national media and things like that, or the lectures we give, I wish we had that opportunity to be able to showcase that. But unfortunately, many times you don't get that up. They don't give us that opportunity.
Absolutely. We were just talking off camera about trusting the process. And this essentially has been a process, the process of the expansion of the Bianchi Law Group. The process of Nothing But the Truth being on the radio and even with our guest Melitsa today, she runs these Miami live events that's happening, and she's building up community there. And we are talking about how to make the radio show better. We're interested in starting to get into the live events as well.
Yeah.
And also BLG CLE, which we've talked about in newsletters, making BLG and the CLE lectures that we're going to be rolling out with our trusted strategic partners. High content creation with valuable resources and really networking that I don't think lawyers in this state have seen through their CLE platforms.
I think that, you know, we have a unique experience in having been people that have taken CLEs, continuing legal education credits, as well as lecturing for continuing legal education credits. And, you know, many of the people that have asked us to do that are fine people and they're fine programs, and we've enjoyed doing them. But I think that we have an insight into what attorneys are wishing things would look like a little bit better and a little bit differently. It doesn't mean people are doing it wrong that are doing it currently, but ours is going to have a different edge. And again, we're about to roll out something with our people that lecture for our series, which they can not only get the credits for lecturing, but we're going to deliver some post-event value to them that I think is going to be amazing. And one of the big things, right? We're going to have fun doing it. And I love this because it takes our knowledge and everything that we know about, and instead of just doing the same thing your entire career, we're able to now pass that on. And I love the idea of having a platform to pass on knowledge.
Absolutely. We have been so fortunate and we are so grateful being on television since we got out of the prosecutor's office. and setting up these studios like you see here in the newsletter. This is one of 2 studios. And we are moving shortly. We're creating a studio. But to Bob's point, it's the win-win, especially like the radio show and also BLG CLE, where we're going to be producing some content that the lecturers are going to be able to push to their colleagues and their communities as well. So we're really, really excited for that. And not only excited for that, but family law section retreats coming up.
Talk about
March.
fun.
March.
F-U-N.
So March, we're going to Scottsdale, Arizona. We do this every single year. We have done this since we left the prosecutor's office, and we have so much fun with the family law section, and we're sponsors yet again. And it's a pleasure to work with the family law attorneys, but it's even more pleasure going on the trips and having fun with the family law attorneys. Bob, you looking forward to the trip?
Yeah, the trips are really great, and for us, it's a great networking opportunity. But to your point, the interesting thing was this is our longest business venture, if you will, that we've had since we started the Bianchi Law Group. And it really, the genesis of it was Dave and myself kind of talking. What do people do? They wait for the phone to ring, and that's what my father used to do. And he's 90 years old; he's still a practicing lawyer, and referrals that some people would give you. But we were just reminiscing, if you will, about the prosecutor's office and about how many of the cases we prosecuted emanated out of either a domestic violence or matrimonial context, whether it be, God forbid, a domestic homicide, which there were plenty,
sure,
or wiretap violations, or all sorts of privacy issues, stalking, all the stuff that and when we were talking about that, that's when we were like, wow, we should really be outreaching to and dialoguing to the family law attorneys, because we saw some things happen in the prosecutor's office where we were really surprised that the family law attorneys were kind of, for lack of a better expression, giving up the client to give us evidence that ultimately was being used in a criminal case. And so they've been very gracious to us, very grateful that we've been sponsoring them. And there has, no disrespect to anybody else in any other section of the bar, especially my criminal law bar section friends or whatever. We've had some great times, but the family law section, they know how to do it right.
They do. And one of the reasons too is they attract the sponsors. With these acrimonious divorce actions come forensic accountants that are necessary and the various different experts that are able to fund the trips for the family law attorneys. And these trips are in great places. We're going to Scottsdale now. But to your point, Bob, the restraining order actions that we regularly handle for family law attorneys, some of them like to keep the FV docketed cases, which is fine. But those predicate acts, they're all criminal.
Yeah.
They're literally, when a restraining order is entered, it's because either assault or harassment or criminal mischief or one of the many predicate acts have been committed. So there's so much crossover right there, especially in the domestic violence context. And we all know, when spouses are separating and they're acrimonious and they're fighting about custody and parenting time and equitable distribution and property and houses, unfortunately, the temporary restraining orders come and the criminal charges come. And that's where we're here for our colleagues.
Yeah, what I really love about it is since we've built this synergistic relationship with many of the attorneys from the family law section, while we do not handle matrimonial actions, and I emphasize that again, we do not do matrimonial, I really never realized, I thought we were providing value because we knew all those predicate acts as prosecutors and the importance of that, and there's value there. But the other value is we've learned a lot about parenting time, custody issues, and I think that we've been able, we have to work with the matrimonial attorney with those things, and that was a learning, curve for us to a certain extent. So now we can kind of optimize the representation because we while we don't practice in that area, we know what the matrimonial lawyer is going through on the other docket.
Absolutely. We love when matrimonial counsel are also in those actions because it helps us dialogue on those issues, because any orders that we agree to, we know that establishes a status quo and it could have an effect on the FM docket. So yes, since coming out of the prosecutor's office and working on these cases since 2013, and now even present day with the huddles that we have. Our morning huddles with the team, we're 7 attorneys right now. we are regularly talking about these collateral issues on the family law side that we have to know and be aware of. And in discussions with our clients, even when we're handling the criminal or the domestic violence cases. So win-win again. Not only are we helping the family law attorneys, but the relationship we have developed with the family law attorneys have taught our staff about these collateral issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dave, listen, I thank you and Dr. Jerry over here that you can't see is off camera, and our producer and all the staff. I'm really proud of what we put together here, and I'm empowered. As you know, the great question that was asked me when I was leaving the prosecutor's office was, what's next in your plan? And that was a interesting moment for me. And what I knew I didn't want to do is something that I did previously and go back to doing that. Not that there was anything wrong with it.
Sure.
But what we have developed here with the way this practice runs, our strategic partners that we have, which we're very grateful for, with the radio show, the podcast, the BLG CLE, the continuing legal education program. I am really grateful and thankful to you and the staff and for all of you that support us.
Right back at you, Bob. Appreciate all the referrals. We appreciate the friendship. We appreciate the community. And certainly if you have anything you need from us, 24/7, 365, give us a call.
Peace.
We're the Bianchi Law Group, a team of former prosecutors and certified criminal trial attorneys.
But here's the thing. He put himself in a box when he said...
Relied on by CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, Law and Crime, and news leaders across the country for our criminal defense expertise.
In a search warrant, you have to have probable cause that a crime's been committed and there's evidence in a particular place.
When you need a law firm with courage, compassion, and the commitment to fight for you, call the Bianchi Law Group today.